Okay, I wanted to make a quick video before I assemble this engine, and maybe I might be able to start it up later. More now, probably Friday I'll be able to start it. But anyway, uh, I got the engine pretty much together. I got this port matched. You can see in the inside of there. I don't know. Yeah, so all I have to do is assemble a head, put the carb on. This carb is from Dustin. Thinking I might tell the owner to see it had got all dinged up. I smoothed it out as good as I could. Maybe make this into an atomizer, or take that dump tube out, get the flow up. I think this is only 100 CFM. I would like to see the same size, at least 120 on here. It should pick up another horsepower just with the added flow of the carb, you know. And I get my carbs from Dustin Stevenson at Competition Carburetors, you know. So I always recommend him. This one has the billet stacks. This is a HR 191, and had a bad fall, but it still should flow good, you know. So I'm gonna see if he can probably send it in and get a little bit more work done to it, get the flow up some more, you know. 'Cause I think he's gonna be in some type of drag racing event coming up, maybe in April. I'm not really for sure the exact date on that, but you know, it's 34 at the beginning. It tapers down into all the way to a 31 millimeter seat ID, you know. But I wanted to really talk about groove seal, right? You see how the sleeve sticks out? It's still a little wet. I don't want to touch it, but this is a copper spacer, not a gasket. It goes on the outside of the sleeve. What seals it up is the sleeve itself. It bottoms out inside of this groove here and crushes. But I don't want this to get damaged. The aluminum in the inside is softer than this copper, right? Doesn't seem like it, but it would eventually start making a groove in there because the steel sleeve is so hard, right? So what I always tell people, if I'm gonna build the engine, I always recommend this way instead of the regular head gasket. You know, the worst thing ever, the customer complains, oh man, I was running good and then it blew the head gasket, right? And then I got to be like, well, what you gonna do? Then they looking at you like you don't know how to build engines or whatever else. They always want to instantly jump to the worst conclusion when I already told you this way here guarantees sealing, right? Guarantees it. See, this goes into the groove here. And when I order these, you have to be exact specs on there. It can't be no, oh, well, it'll be all right, just getting whatever. No, it has to be exact. You want it to be a nice, perfect fit there and a nice, perfect fit there, you know? And then you put it on and torque it to 20 foot-pounds. And like I see guys all over the USA blowing head gaskets, and I say, well, next time you do a block, do it the right way, right? Oh, they always know a guy that can do a block for $20. They can sleeve a whole block, weld the block for another 20. You'll be like, okay, well, just go ahead and get it done by them. They just that damn cheap. Go ahead and just get it done, right? So eventually they hit me up, hey man, yeah, I had the head torqued on 22 pounds and then the threads in the block strip. or the bolt broke, the 8mm bolt, stock bolt broke. I said, yeah, that stuff happens. You know, that's the limitations of stock. You know, stock bolts, head bolts break like 22 pounds. You maybe can get 24 before they snap. Or the block threads, they normally strip out at 25 pounds. So it depends on how lucky of a person you are. You know, you don't even have to do that. You go 20 pounds with this setup, but with some grade 8 bolts, you don't have to worry about it. You're good. You know, you don't ever have to worry about blowing the head gasket. You know, anything else, if you haven't run gas and overheat the engine, you might then drop a valve or anything else or something. But that's normally what happens when you just simply not running the engine like it's supposed to be ran. You know, you got too much static compression, not enough octane, you know, or too much ignition timing or anything. You know, you got to know what you're doing, you know. So I've been doing this now for, I don't want to say 10 years. I will say 9 years, you know, maybe about 9. Yeah, probably about 9 years. I pretty much upgraded all my engines to the groove seal. Once I figured it worked better than the O-ring. The O-ring is better than just a head gasket. And this is better than the O-ring, you know. So when you have a head that flows 100 CFM or more, you're running like around 450 lift, you know, and you're running 3-inch bore, it's really on the edge of blowing that head gasket. You know, you might be able to run a few passes, but if you start saying, well, let me put a little bit of M5 in there, or a little bit of nitro mix, or just a little bit of extra, you're out of there. You know, you blew a head gasket, you lost the race, you lost your money. You know, now it's like, well, the only reason I lost is because some excuse you have. You don't want to have that, you know. So get it done the right way. Once you get it done the right way, then normally you can take it to somebody and have them copycat it or whatever, you know, but at least you spend the money the first time. But other than that, you go keep taking chances and keep blowing head gaskets. I wouldn't do this if it wasn't necessary. I don't do all this if I just like, oh, well, you know what? He just don't have his block surfaced correctly or something, you know. Oh, yeah, is that right? Okay, yeah. I even had a block where the head flowed 150. It blew the head away from the block, right? Stripped out all 4 head threads, and I had the head torqued on 22 pounds. You know, the 8mm thread simply couldn't handle that much cylinder pressure going in. And at that time, I was getting in maybe 146 CFM out of that 151 or whatever it was. So it was 151 at 600 lift. I think it was like 146 at 500 left, you know. So I had about 520 going in there, you know. So I was getting 500 lift going in, and that was too much for 8mm threads, you know. It seems crazy, but until you reach these levels, you know, you really don't understand what I'm talking about, you know. So it's like for my own R&D, I got to actually change the name and just stop saying R&D. This had to be like special or super R&D or whatever it is, because it's more than what the average person does, you know. But that's about it. That's all I wanted to talk about.